Welcome to Forex Daybreak, a daily podcast where we cover 8 Forex pairs and give you our view on the market direction for these pairs. If you are trading Forex market, this is the #1 show to start your trading day. Now, let's begin today's episode.
Good morning everybody and welcome to Forex Daybreak episode 11. In this daily Forex update I will give you my view on 8 Forex pairs I analyze using Elliott wave principle. My name is Ville Vainio and today is 21st of August 2015. Show notes for this episode can be found at forexpodcast.co. Now let's get started. Okay, let's dive right into the currency markets, and first up is EURUSD. The strong upwards move after FOMC and the low of the C wave has continued. We are past the latest peak, the minute wave A peak. The price now 112.5 approximately, 112.49. We are right at the 61.8% Fibonacci expansion level and this is looking strong. Maybe we'll see soon a smaller corrective phase, but I am expecting this to reach much higher than these levels we are now on. I see two possibilities here. My preferred wave count is proposing that we are now at the final wave of this large correction, which should be a 5-way structure to the upside near 115 levels. The other option is that we are still on a triangle and then this upwards momentum should contain on the upper trend line of the triangle around 113.5. There is still upside on this, no matter which of those options are correct. Key levels on EURUSD are that next resistance is 112.75, a peak from June. If I remember correctly, this was the Greek crisis at its worst at that point, so this peak was formed then. This is next resistance level on the upside. On the downside, support is at 111.42, which is the minute wave A peak, the recent high, and we are now at 112.5. This can be traded still to the upside in my opinion. I didn't put any trades on this pair. I have a trade on US dollar Japanese yen, which is going okay, but I don't know why, but I couldn't get into this trade at this point. Okay, next let's move on to the dollar yen. The downwards pressure has continued here. We are now 123.26 and my trade is still running. I'm going to close it perhaps this morning. I don't want to leave it running through the weekend. My target was 123, so we are quite near on that target. The profit is 100, just over 100 pips, 110 pips approximately right now. So okay trade, good trade in my opinion. I'm expecting US dollar Japanese yen to reach lower than the 123 since the X wave, the previous correction to the upside, the X wave was quite long and reached higher than the peak of the minute wave 1, so I'm expecting this to reach lower. Hard to say how much lower, but maybe 122.5, 122.7 on those levels perhaps. Key levels on dollar yen are that support level is that 123, which is the recent wave W low, and upside is the peak at 123.7 which dates back to end of June. This is a corrective wave peak. So those are the levels to watch for in US dollar Japanese yen. When we reach the bottom for this C wave, I'm expecting the larger uptrend to resume. So there is good opportunities to trade this to the upside when we reach to that point. But let's see how this develops. This can go on for a while, this downwards pressure. Next is pound dollar, and the progress here is quite anemic. There has been no progress at all. We are still on the resistance area at 156.9 approximately. 156.89 is now the price. This just doesn't want to break out of this range and continue higher. Pound has been weak lately, dollar has been weak, so this means that if there's two weak currencies, nothing much will happen and there's no progress to be made. Key levels on pound dollar are the same. Key levels on pound dollar are the same as yesterday and the day before. 156.9 is the upper resistance level, which has held for weeks and weeks. On the downside, 156.4 is the next support, and hard to say if this is breaking just out of this range or if we get more downside. Let's see how this develops. No viable trades on this pair until we get a decent structure either to the upside or to the downside and get a hold of this wave count. Next is euro pound. Euro has reached higher in this pair. We are now at 71.69, just at the resistance area. Still, I'm not sure about this wave structure. It is more or less sideways range and looking corrective, and hard to tell if we are going to go higher or lower. My preferred view is that we are going higher and should form the last part of this large correction to the upside, but still quite hard to say of the wave structure. The recent upwards move has been strong. Euro has been strong across the board, so, and also pound has been weak, so that would propose more upside on this pair. Key levels on euro pound are that the downside support around 71.6 or 0.716 area. That has been a resistance area, so perhaps this is acting as a support. Next resistance is 0.722, the previous minute wave B high on the upside. And like before, I would not trade this pair just yet. I would look for more solid structure and then project the targets and the correct entry points based on that. Next up is euro yen, and if you went long yesterday, like I was a little bit saying, you have made some profits. This has gone higher. We are now at 138.665 and looking bullish, like all of the euro pairs I forecast are looking bullish. I think we are still on sub-minute wave 3. I wouldn't label the latest peak as the peak of wave 3, since the latest decline went almost to the wave 1 territory. This would be correctly labeled as wave 3 and 4, but I haven't done so. Key levels on euro yen are that 138.845 is the immediate resistance, and this is the latest high. 137.785 on the downside is the support level. And looking bullish, possibly a good opportunity to trade higher. There might be a decline, small decline coming next, but in my opinion there is more upside on Euro Yen. Next is Pound Yen, and the decline has continued here. I have labeled the triangle again on the chart, and we should decline slightly further towards the lower trend line, which is at about 192.8. We are now at 193.25, so a little more to the downside, and then this should contain on the lower trend line, which I have drawn on the charts. So key levels are those trend lines on the triangle, 192.8 on the downside, and upside is 195.225 approximately. Those levels should contain this pair today. I would not trade Pound Yen at this point, since this is triangle quite narrow range. I would wait for this triangle to complete and then look for a better opportunity. Next is Euro Canadian, and here we have made new mid-term highs, looking very strong on the upside. We are now at 147.4 and possibly forming the minute wave C corrective wave to the upside. The upside is quite open. The resistance levels date back further on the 2014. Remember, the last resistance point was a December 2014 level. Now we need to go even further than that on June of 2014, and the next resistance is found there. It's at 147.73 approximately. So a June peak from 2014 is the next resistance level. On the downside, support level 146.12, around that. It is looking strong and probably will continue higher. If you want to trade this pair, I would first wait for a smaller correction and would go long on small pullbacks. Let's see finally US dollar Canadian. The progress here has been quite anemic. Much has not happened since yesterday. This is absolutely flat on the day, all through yesterday. Both of these pairs are weak. Canadian dollar is weak, US dollar is weak, so nothing has happened. We are right at 131 level, which is a minor support, and other key levels are on US dollar Canadian. Downside support 129.5 like yesterday, and upside, minor upside resistance level is at 131.77. I would not trade this since there is nothing to trade here. This is sideways range and wave 4 forming, probably still in the B wave position, and we should get one more wave down before this can be completed, the wave 4, wave 4 minus wave 4 correction. Okay, that's it for today's episode. Visit the show notes at forexpodcast.co. That is functioning this week, the website, while I build the new website at ForexDayBreak.com. And thanks for listening. Go make some profit, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.
Thanks for your interest in Forex Daybreak Daily Podcast. If you like this show, we hope you'll visit our website, www.ForexDayBreak.com, and tell your friends about us. Be sure to check the show notes on our website for this episode. Join us next time for another episode of Forex Daybreak.